Cindy, it's fantastic to see you.
Great to be here.
I'm very, very excited. We've got just a couple of quick questions just to get to know you. I think you'll find them fun. So going straight into it, younger or older men?
Younger, obviously.
Why?
Because, and by the way, this is something I'm very public about. I have never wanted to be married. I've never seen that as an end goal. I have never wanted children. I don't want to be in a relationship. I adore being single. I cannot wait to die alone. And so I date younger men casually and recreationally for sex. And I'm deliberately very public about all of this because we don't have enough role models in our society for women and for men that demonstrate you can live your life very differently to the way society expects you to and still be amazingly happy. And I'm one of the happiest people I know.
See, that's awesome, because I wanted to ask you why it was so important that you bring it up every time. And that's the reason, because it makes you a role model.
No, absolutely. Too many people live lives in oiled grooves. Too many people go, oh, what you do is you fall in love, or you think you've fallen in love, and therefore, obviously you marry this person. And by the way, that is why the divorce rate is so high, because that feeling of infatuation and love, sometimes it's authentic and genuine, sometimes it isn't. I would say it isn't more often than not. You marry the first person, you think, oh my God, it's love. And then you go, and now we're married, we have kids. And by the way, I especially wish that people would stop and think long and hard about whether they actually want children. I mean that again as much for men as for women, because there are a lot of people out there who should never have had children. And by the way, having had them, they might not admit that to you, but society does not represent that as a viable choice. When your parents are pressurizing you for grandkids, when all your friends are coupling up around you and churning out babies, the societal pressure, especially for women, on having children is you're surrounded by it 24/7. And, even to this day, when I say, I've never wanted children, I will still get one of two reactions. One is, oh, the poor dear thing. She never met a man who wanted to marry her, which is not
Those
true,
people.
by the way. Or, reaction number two is, oh my God, how unnatural. A woman who doesn't want children, and so, I am vocal about this. I encourage other women to be vocal about what are seen as unconventional choices, because there are so many more people who would be living much happier lives if they'd actually stopped to question what they really wanted versus what society tells you you're supposed to want.
So there's no positive reaction? No one goes, awesome, good for you.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, other women who don't have children, didn't want children, go, thank you so much for being vocal about that.
So do you think we should teach that in schools as an option? Say to people, by the way, you don't have to have kids.
No, because too many people's reaction is, oh, we should teach that in schools, like sex education, for example.
Okay.
No, this starts in the home and this starts in popular culture. Anybody who believes that everybody should exercise more freedom of personal choice around key life decisions should be doing everything they can to spread that to the people in their own lives, the children in their own lives, and where they can to influence how those life choices are depicted and characterized in popular culture.
Fantastic, fantastic. And that's what you're doing right now. So superb. Question 2. You're on a date, it's a first date. Who pays, you or the guy?
In my case, I date younger men, and so I've always been very happy to pay. And sometimes, I will date a younger man who very kindly insists on picking up the tab. And if he really is, insistent, then that's fine. But on the whole, I expect to pay.
Am I young enough then? A key question.
How old are you?
24.
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go. Bingo. We'll save the post-recording. All right. You're going to a party, fancy dress or no fancy dress?
Oh, no fancy dress. I'm not a fancy dress person.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
I adore dressing up, by the way. I adore,
Okay.
getting glammed up and all of that, and making a spectacularly, fashionable impression. But I'm not a fan of costumes.
Interesting. So can't be bothered with the hassle of a pirate costume, but more than happy to dress up and look fabulous.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
My least favorite holiday is Halloween.
Perfect.
I avoid Halloween at all costs.
I mean, Halloween's bizarre though, isn't it? Because trick or treat is basically give me something nice or I'm going to like mess up your life. It's kind of terrible when you think about it.
But no, Halloween has become like the costume fancy dress occasion, and
Mhm.
obviously it's a huge thing here in the US. But I know it's now infiltrated into the UK and other countries in that context.
Unfortunately.
Here in America, everybody. I mean, people come into offices in full costumes, and I'm just not into that.
Well, thank God we're not going to offices anymore. That's that
Mm,
problem solved.
mm.
All right, last question here. What do you think something that everyone shouldn't do is?
Oh, everybody should not give a damn what anybody else thinks.